Today on Judge Faith, whose job was it to take the trash out?
She called me and said they can't come get the dumpster.
Little did I know that he was gonna put whole trees in the dumpster with clumps of clay, all kind of asphalt.
You were asking me, have you ever had this happen before? And I said, no, I don't ever use dumpsters.
The yard was a hot mess.
Now you know for next time. And so this is a learning process.
And later, these BFFs take the law into their own hands.
I felt his car hit mine once, bounce off, and then hit again.
He was driving still, so I was like, go, and she wasn't moving. She was like in shock.
You were telling her to go, like, chase him down?
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Tanisha Moore Beatty says she hired the defendant to remove debris on the playground at her new Dream Daycare facility, but he never completed the job. She's suing for the return of her deposit and related fees. Defendant Roger Waymeyer says he completed the work, and the plaintiff is just mad because she had to pay to haul away the debris. He is countersuing for the balance owed on the job.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Moore Beatty versus Waymeyer.
Thank you, Barbara. Tanisha Moore Beatty?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, Roger Waymeyer, for $3,000 for the return of a deposit and related fees for a landscaping job you said he did not complete?
Yes.
And Mr. Waymeyer, you are countersuing for $2,000, the remainder of the contract that you say she owes you on that landscaping job?
That's correct.
Okay, Ms. Moore Beatty, we'll start with you. What happened here?
I decided to open a daycare, a childcare center, and about in 2010, I decided to purchase a building.
Okay, did you actually open the daycare center?
No, we never opened it. We were doing all the construction, and with all these janky contractors, like, we had so much problems, like lost so much money with people getting deposits and not doing their job. Anyway,
Your Honor, it wasn't
as I was saying, I was following my dream. I did everything that I was supposed to do.
Well, let's back up for a second. How did you entered into a contract with the defendant for landscaping,
yes,
correct?
Yes.
Okay, when was that?
That was in 2012.
Now, did you know him or did you know his work prior to that?
No.
How did you find him?
He was referred by another person who could not do the work. This other guy, he was a little older. So he referred Roger to me saying, you know, I don't do this anymore, but I have someone that would be great. He's professional, he's great.
And what did you hire the defendant to do?
I hired him to create my playground area. What he was supposed to do was remove all the gravel from the yard. The yard was a mess. The whole building was a complete gut out. And so I gave him the benefit of the doubt when he gave me that outrageous $5,500 bid. Like, seriously.
Well, did you get bids from other people?
Yes.
Okay, but you chose him.
I chose him because he was somebody who had a company. He wasn't someone that's just riding along on his bike, you know, and said, hey, can I cut your grass?
Mr. Waymeyer, you do have a company?
Yes.
Okay, and how long have you been in the landscaping business?
20 years.
Do you do landscaping mostly in the St. Louis area?
Yes.
This is where the breakdown in this case came, right? So you hired him and he's doing work and he removes the debris from the yard, and where is it placed?
I had a dumpster there, as I stated, when I was doing other contractor work. So another contractor had me bring in a dumpster to put the debris from tearing out the walls and all of that. Roger sees the dumpster. He said, can I use your dumpster? I'm like, sure, you're a contractor. Everyone else is using it. Why not? Little did I know that he was gonna put whole trees in the dumpster with clumps of clay, all kind of asphalt. Like, it was over the limit by like 30 tons or so.
And so
like,
how did you know that?
I call Allied, tell them to come pick up the dumpster because we can't fit any more of the construction stuff.
Let's see the photo. Okay, so that's the dumpster, right?
That's the dumpster in the middle of the yard.
And I see that's the work that he did with the sod around it, and then there's the brown dirt area where you're supposed to pull the dumpster out and remove it.
Yes.
So they say they can't pick it up.
They said
what
they
do you
could
do?
not pick it up. They sent another dumpster out.
She called me and said, they can't come get the dumpster. It's too heavy. Have you ever had this happen before? And I said, no, I don't ever use dumpsters.
Okay, so you never used a dumpster, and then you filled this one up.
And I was trying to help her, so I said, why don't I call around to see if someone is telling you the truth? I was trying to call around to see if somebody
Well, how
was
was
telling
that
me.
helping me?
Because you were asking me that it was possible for a dumpster to not be able to be picked up.
Sir, you want to explain to me what I'm looking at here?
This was the playground area that we were working in after the dumpster's gone. I don't know how long after we left that this picture
But this was the
taken.
area that you did not put the sod, right?
Well, the area we didn't put the sod's right on the corner,
Okay.
where the rock is. We had laid sod all the way around it. The first picture captures, you could see all the brand new
I saw that on the
sod.
first photo.
Yes.
And
Okay.
so then
listen,
whenever...
do we have another photo?
Oh, yes. This is the new landscaper, the one that did it correctly. He dug all this, you see all this asphalt and sod and rock and gravel and bricks. This was under the dumpster.
Coming up, did her daycare dream get ditched with a dumpster?
No, this is my favorite. Oh, well, call me when you get that problem situated.
She called me 50 times saying that this was my problem and I
'Cause it
needed to
was.
help.
And later, did they take it too far when she ran after his car?
I got out of the car and I ran after the car.
I think you're a good friend, but there are better options than getting out on the highway, running down the street to catch someone.
Plaintiff Tanisha Moore Beatty says she hired the defendant to remove debris, but he never completed the job. She's suing for the return of her deposit and related fees. Defendant Roger Waymeyer says he did complete the work. He is countersuing for the balance owed on the job.
Is there anything in addition to what I just said as stated on the contract?
She called me.
I called
me
him
50 times while the dumpster was still there, saying that this was my problem and I
'Cause it
needed to
was.
help her resolve the problem.
So, ma'am, you're suing for $600 in dumpster labor. What's that about?
His brother, the one that came out, $350 to come out and do his job. Because the last time I checked, I was the director of a daycare.
And
not
where's
a
the rest
20-year
of the
landscaper.
$600 come in for dumpster labor?
We had to end up paying another guy $250.
Okay.
And he was the one who finally got the stuff to where we can move the dumpster.
And what are the waste fees about?
So I paid the $389. And so I was holding him responsible for the other
Those
$400.
are the fees that they charged you for overfilling the dumpster.
For being overfilled. Now, mind you, that wasn't the amount of how much I pay. They charged me over. The amount of the overage was $789.
And you also, in addition to that, you hired somebody else to come. Is the landscaping's finished
Yes.
now, right?
Oh, no. They came out again. They could not move it. No, this is my favorite. Oh, well, call me when you get that problem situated. Yeah, call me when you handle that. When I handle it, foolishness, it's not for me to handle.
So what took you so long? Because this happened in 2012. What took you so long to file a lawsuit?
Well, I started the whole Daycare Dream. Right after all of this mess, I got diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. So I shut it down. I shut everything down. We had lost so much money. I had to fight for my health. I had to fight for my job. I had to fight for my dream. You know, I had to go through chemo, and it was almost 2 years that I had to go through chemo because my stage was there.
So are you doing better now?
I am.
You
I'm
certainly
actually
look wonderful.
Thank you. I'm actually doing fine. I'm on a chemo pill now. So that's why I decided to get up out of my sorry bed, feeling sorry for myself, and I started fulfilling my dream again. And then when I got the new landscaper, and the landscaper was telling me everything that this landscaper did wrong, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let him get away with this. You've been in this business too long for this type of foolery. I'm just saying, like, how is this my problem?
How much did she pay you total? How much did she pay you total?
She paid me $2,000.
Okay, and how much do you say she still owes you?
$2,000 too much.
Well, I agree that I did not complete the job 100%.
Right.
Because
Okay, so you're suing for $2,000.
Correct.
Instead of the full, I think it's $3,000 left, right?
So you
Okay.
think your work was worth $4,000? What moon did you, what?
When she agreed to the $5,500, the bid that I gave her, she's the one that told me to fill up the dumpster. She did not want to pay to have dump trucks haul the dirt away. When we finished the whole job, we did all the removal, took a couple days. I called her, said, move your dumpster.
Let me just stop you there, because I think I've heard enough here. You know, you've been in the landscaping business 20 years, right? Over 20 years. And you obviously came highly recommended by someone else who referred you to her. But something you said today stood out to me, and I think that it's pretty significant in this case, and that is you've never worked with dumpsters before and used dumpsters in your landscaping business before.
That is accurate.
You're doing landscaping work and a client tells you, well, just use this dumpster. You can use things and fill this dumpster up. And you've never worked with dumpsters before. I mean, she's trying to be helpful, but she doesn't know what that means. She doesn't know how much debris is going to weigh or even how much debris there will be. You're the professional. I really believe that with the issue with the dumpster, it fell under your job duties and responsibilities to haul off the debris. And if you didn't know the dumpster was going to be an issue, you should have known, I can't put this stuff in a dumpster. I have to take it to a landfill, even if it's in another county. I mean, it's your job to do that research.
Well, the bid would have been a lot higher.
Then
I
you
wanted
should
to
have
put
bid
it.
a lot higher,
I
and I
wanted to
wouldn't
put
have
it in
used
my.
you.
I wanted to put it in my
I would have had to go to
dump
somebody that was a
trucks.
lot cheaper that would have removed the debris.
If the bid would have been a lot higher, now you know for next time. And so this is a learning process. I mean, you've been in business for 20 years. We learn things every day, right? Life is about lifelong learning. So now you know for next time when you deal with dumpsters. So I'm going to deny your counterclaim for $2,000 for the amount owed on the contract because you never actually completed the work. I'm going to order you to pay $1,000 for the dumpster labor and waste fees to the plaintiff because that really wasn't her responsibility. I find that that was a part of your job responsibilities and duties. In addition, you are suing to get your $2,000 deposit back that you paid to the defendant. I'm not going to order him to pay you the full deposit back because he did a significant amount of work on the yard. I'm going to order you to refund her $1,000 in terms of that deposit. So my total judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000 plus her court costs. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Plaintiff Shauna Rui says the defendant hit her car while crossing into her lane without a turn signal. She's suing for damages to her car. She is accompanied in court today by her friend, Sivan Costa. Defendant Matthew Raymond says the plaintiff sped up when she saw his turn signal and hit his truck. He's countersuing for damages to his vehicle.
Ms. Rui, you are suing the defendant for $4,011 in damages to your car as a result of an accident you say he caused. Mr. Raymond, you say the accident was her fault, so you don't owe any money, and you're countersuing for $95 for damages to your truck. Who's your witness here with you today?
My friend Sivan.
Was she in the car?
Yes, she was.
Okay, we'll start with you. What happened?
I picked her up from her house. It was her birthday, so we're headed over to a coffee shop. They give you a free drink on your birthday, whether it's a smoothie or coffee or energy drink. And we're driving down Madison. We passed Hemlock. The light was green, so we didn't have to stop or anything.
What kind of street is Madison? Is it a highway or a residential area? How would you describe it?
It's like a main street.
It's like a main street.
How many lanes of traffic?
3 on the...
3 on both sides.
3 on both sides. So we pass the cross street Hemlock, and all of a sudden, all I see is his white Ford pickup truck coming over into my lane. I honked my horn at least 3 times before I just laid on my horn. I felt his car hit mine once, bounce off, and then hit again. I stopped the car, and this is when Sivan, she got out of my car. She's wearing a dress and flip-flops.
Well, why don't you tell me what you did?
When she stopped, I looked over at her and he was driving still. So I was like, go, and she wasn't moving. She was like in shock.
You were telling her to go, like, chase him
like,
down?
go get him.
Oh,
like,
okay.
And she wasn't moving. She wasn't moving, so I got out of the car and I ran after the car. And
You ran in the street?
I ran no, on the sidewalk.
Oh, on the sidewalk,
I'm
okay.
5 foot and I'm in this long dress. It's my birthday. I'm in flip-flops. I'm trying to chase after him. I run a few feet and I'm pointing for him to go. It turned into a parking lot. He finally turns into a parking lot. Well, as he parks, I'm standing there. I said, "What is your problem? What was your deal?" And he goes, "Well, you hit me."
So were you leaving the scene of an accident, sir?
No. It's a minor accident, and in a minor accident, you don't stop in the middle of the road.
So you were just trying to drive somewhere where you could pull over safely?
Next on Judge Faith.
Now, I found something interesting in this police report. There was a witness who was interviewed at the scene. Have you seen this police report?
No, I have not.
Plaintiff Shauna Ruwe says the defendant hit her car while crossing into her lane. She's suing for damages to her vehicle. Defendant Matthew Raymond says the plaintiff sped up and hit his truck. He's countersuing for damages to his vehicle.
Let's hear your side.
So we're at an intersection, and I'm in the middle lane. She's in the right-hand lane.
So you saw her in the right-hand lane. You were driving in the middle lane. You saw her in the right-hand lane, and you needed to get over because you wanted to make a right turn.
That's my intentions.
Okay,
yeah.
so you accelerated.
I accelerated. I got ahead.
And now, so when you try to get over, do you turn on your blinker, your signal?
Yeah, after about 2 car lengths ahead.
No, he did not.
Hold on a second, ladies.
After about 2 car lengths ahead, I turned on my signal, and I'm merging over. Then I've got a clear path to get in. At that time, as soon as I turned my signal on, she sped up on me. Now, I'm already moving over into the right lane in front of her. There's a car to the left of me now that sees what I'm doing and wants to take over my lane. So now I'm kind of stuck in a pickle, and my truck is in the middle of the white line, the striped white line, between the middle lane and the far right lane. So she's in the far right lane. I'm in the middle of the white line, and there's a car next to me that wants to take my spot.
Here's what's happening. She has the right of way in the lane that she's driving in. She just does. And if she doesn't want to let someone in front of her, she doesn't have to. And what bothers me is you saw her in the right lane. It's not like you didn't see her car and you got over. You actually saw her car in the right lane. Now, I found something interesting in this police report that I want to share with you. There was a witness who was interviewed at the scene. Have you seen this police report?
No, I have not.
This witness said that you tried to pass her car on the road and that she started blowing her horn and that she was laying on her horn blowing it, but you tried to get over anyway. So it's really hard for me to believe that another witness who doesn't know anyone here in this courtroom today would say and tell the police about her blowing her horn to try to prevent you from getting over, and you come into court today and say, well, I didn't hear a horn, I don't know anything about that.
I have a hard time with that, Your Honor.
Well, I'm sorry that you do, because she has the right of way to drive in the right-hand lane. And if you saw her, like you say you did, and this witness says that she was blowing her horn, you should not have tried to get over. I think you have a big truck, and you probably think you own the highway, and you wanted to get over because you knew you needed to make a right-hand turn, and you were going to try to force your way over, and you wanted them to slow down, and they didn't. That's what I think happened, sir.
I never saw a witness there when we were being interviewed by the police department when they showed up.
It doesn't matter what you saw. Perhaps they came afterwards. That doesn't matter. That's not relevant.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
First, on your counterclaim, I find you responsible for this accident. So on your counterclaim, 0. Let me explain something to you about damages. I've ruled on the issue of liability. The second issue is damages. How much does he have to pay you? Typically, when people come into court and they have an estimate, they haven't actually paid for damages. I assume you didn't have insurance, or you only had liability insurance?
Yeah, we only had the basic.
Okay, so liability insurance doesn't cover if you have damages to your car in an accident, correct?
Yes.
Ms. Witness, I think you're a good friend because you tried to help your friend, but I would caution you from getting out of a car, running after people. You guys have cell phones, right? There are better options than getting out on the highway, running down the street to catch someone. This was a fender bender. You know, you don't have to pursue the perpetrator. Let the police do that, okay? I know that you're suing for $4,011 in damages, but typically when you come into court, people come in and they bring 2 or 3 estimates. So I know that this one estimate isn't just from a family friend, or the prices aren't inflated, or the damages aren't inflated, because here I see there are a lot of things included in this estimate, and I'm just not sure that they're a part of this car accident and what I'm looking at now, okay?
Okay.
So in terms of damages, I'm going to sort of do a little finagling here and reviewing this document, and my verdict in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. Good luck, folks. Thank you.
Thanks, folks. You go ahead and head on out.